The conflict in Yemen, ongoing since 2014, has led to an unimaginable humanitarian crisis. A report by the United Nations Development Programme paints a grim picture of the situation, projecting that by the end of 2021, the death toll from the war in Yemen will have reached 377,000. The most heartbreaking part of this statistic, 70% of those lost lives will be children under 5. But the devastation doesn't stop with the loss of life. The conflict has also pushed over 15,600,000 people into extreme poverty. That's over half the population of Australia living in conditions most of us can't even begin to comprehend. Now let's look into the future, a future where the war continues unabated. It's a chilling prospect. By 2030, the death toll could skyrocket to 1.3 million. Indirect causes like hunger and disease fueled by the conflict will account for 70% of these deaths. Yet, there's another future, one where peace prevails. If peace is achieved by 2022, the UNDP report suggests that extreme poverty could be eradicated by 2047. This would pave the way for economic growth and improved well-being for the people of Yemen. The report emphasizes the pressing need for sustainable development efforts beyond just peace negotiations. And it's clear why. The people of Yemen need more than just an end to the fighting. They need a chance to rebuild their lives, their communities, and their country. They need hope for a better future, and they need our help to make that future a reality. Children in Yemen are bearing the brunt of the conflict, with over 11,000 killed or injured since 2015. Their lives are marked not by playgrounds and classrooms, but by the echoes of explosions and the relentless struggle for survival. The United Nations Children's Fund, UNICEF, underscores an urgent need for a truce. This isn't just about halting the crossfire. It's about protecting the most vulnerable, the children who find themselves caught in a tug of war they didn't ask to be a part of. The humanitarian situation in Yemen is bleak, to put it mildly. Millions are in desperate need of aid, their daily lives hanging in the balance. Basic services often taken for granted elsewhere are luxuries here. Clean water, sanitation, healthcare. These are lifelines that remain out of reach for far too many. Malnutrition is a haunting specter, stalking the children of Yemen. It's not just about empty bellies, but stunted growth, weakened immunity, and the grim shadow of death that looms large. Education, too, is a casualty of the conflict. Schools are reduced to rubble, dreams shattered under the weight of mortar shells. The loss isn't just academic. It's the loss of a future, the loss of hope. Disease outbreaks add another layer of complexity to an already dire situation. The health infrastructure is crumbling under the strain of the conflict, leaving the population vulnerable to illnesses that should have been preventable or treatable. UNICEF is calling for sustained peace and increased funding to address the crisis effectively. It's not just about band-aids on bullet wounds. It's about rebuilding a shattered nation, giving its children a chance at a future they deserve. The stakes are high and the cost of inaction is simply too great. The Middle East remains a hotspot for conflict, with ongoing violence leading to further casualties. A region steeped in history, culture, and unfortunately strife, the Middle East is a complex tapestry of nations, each with their own internal struggles and external pressures. Let's delve into some of the events that have recently unfolded. A Houthi missile targeting a US-flagged ship in Yemen was intercepted. This incident underscores the volatile nature of the region, where maritime trade routes are often caught in the crossfire. It serves as a reminder of the high stakes, not just for those in the region, but for global commerce and security too. Meanwhile, Israel claimed to have struck a significant blow against Hezbollah, asserting they had eliminated half of the group's commanders in southern Lebanon. Hezbollah, however, denies this claim. The truth is often hard to discern amidst the fog of war, but one thing is clear. The conflict between Israel and Hezbollah continues to simmer, threatening to boil over at any moment. Moving to the academic sphere, protests against Israeli actions are ongoing at US universities. Students and faculty alike are expressing their views, engaging in a dialogue that reflects the broader international conversation about the situation in the Middle East. This speaks to the far-reaching impact of these conflicts, resonating far beyond the borders of the nations directly involved. Turning our attention to the West Bank, the US State Department has issued a stark warning against the legalization of Israeli settlements in the region. Labeling the move as dangerous and reckless, the US government has voiced its concern about further destabilizing an already tense situation. The devastation continues as Israel wages war on Hamas, with reports of mass graves discovered in Gaza. This grim discovery is a stark reminder of the human toll these conflicts take. Behind every statistic, there's a story, a life cut short, a family left grieving. It's a chilling testament to the destructive power of war and the urgent need for sustainable peace in the region. The United States plays a significant role in these conflicts, and it's tied to the contributions of its taxpayers. Let's take a moment to consider the meeting between US President Joe Biden and a 4-year-old American dual citizen who had been held hostage by Hamas. This incident, while deeply personal and specific, points to the broader implications of international conflict on individual lives and the role of the US in navigating these complex situations. The United States doesn't stand on the sidelines in these conflicts. In fact, it's deeply involved, often in ways we don't see in daily news. For instance, the US received a video of the hostage, which is now being examined meticulously for potential evidence. This highlights the intricate and often behind-the-scenes work done by US intelligence in these conflict zones. But where does the funding for all this come from? The answer is closer to home than you might think. It's the US taxpayers who bear the financial burden. Yes, the money you pay in taxes contributes to these international efforts, for better or worse. It's not just about the cost of military intervention or intelligence operations. US taxpayers' money also goes towards humanitarian aid, diplomatic negotiations, and rebuilding efforts in these conflict-ridden regions. It's a complex web of financial contributions that impact not only the geopolitical landscape, but also the lives of millions of people. As we navigate these complexities, it's crucial for us to understand and question where our tax dollars are going and how they are being used in these conflicts. It's not just about being informed, it's about taking ownership of the role we play, however indirect, in shaping the world we live in. This video is created by artificial intelligence, so please excuse any mistakes in the script and irrelevant media. We are grateful to Al Jazeera, UN News, and CNN for the information that has informed our discussion today. For a more in-depth understanding of these pressing issues, we strongly encourage you to visit the links to these sources provided in the description below. In the spirit of learning and exploration, you can also search for American Northwest Aviation and delve into the content available on the websites of our parent venture, American Northwest Ventures. We are all part of an interconnected global community, and every bit of knowledge gained brings us closer to understanding and addressing the challenges we face. Your support for this channel is greatly appreciated. One simple and effective way you can help us continue to bring you content like this is by making your everyday purchases through American Northwest Products websites, Amazon, and other affiliates' storefront. We appreciate your support and welcome your comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and click on the notification bell. Many of us often feel powerless when faced with the vastness of issues like the conflict in Yemen. However, as members of an interconnected global community, we hold more power than we realize. We have a responsibility to make our voices heard. You can make a difference. We encourage you to write to the White House expressing your concern over the funding of wars that cause irreparable harm to children and communities. It's easier than you think. Simply Google "Email the White House" and you'll find all the contact information you need. Your message doesn't have to be long or elaborate. Even a simple statement expressing your concern and calling for peace can make a difference. Remember, collective action has the power to create change. It's through raising our voices together that we can amplify the call for peace. Every email, every letter counts. Your voice matters. Use it to protect children and promote peace. In the next scene, we'll conclude our discussion and leave you with some final thoughts. Stay tuned.